Good evening, people. Feels good. I love doing Tuesday night AMAs. Some of my favorite shit to do. What's happening, everybody? Adam, you got the fancy fucking shit in the background. You're pouring up a drink. Damn, we got people questions in here already. Son of a bitch. Oh, don't worry.
We'll
You'll
start
get that
off with the
question
pressing question.
later. You'll get the question.
I'll pull
later.
it up. I'll pour it back up again. But Elijah Craig, small batch, just cracked it open. I'm running low over here on the ship bourbon here. So send help.
You gotta stack up, man, because next week I'm gonna be there, and you're supposed to
Don't
convert me.
Mike.
Just
Come
saying.
on, baby.
Just
You know what?
saying.
You know what's on order. You know what's on order. A whole case of Sazerac, right? You think I'm gonna let Mike come into our house?
Just saying,
You,
baby.
you remember
Just
you remember
saying.
the old Under Armour commercial?
Yes, our house. Click
We
clack.
must protect this house.
Yes. Yes.
What's going on, everybody? How we doing?
Adam, this thumbnail you got, working my ass off, killing myself. But what happened today? I see Stephen Ross suspended for a year. Dolphins losing draft picks. Tom Brady. You be my Jay Rich, man. Break the news. Break it down for me. What I missed. I didn't get to catch everything.
So interesting, man, because I didn't get to catch all of it, but I did read some of it. And this is what's crazy, Mike. I thought when the news first broke, I'm thinking, all right, we're looking at some of the Flores stuff. That's kind of what I'm thinking when I first see it happen, like, without the details. So then I start reading, and it's like it's all about Brady and Sean Payton. So it's basically all about the tampering. And they start telling you how, like, this stuff with Miami was going back to 2019, Mike. So, like, fully entrenched still in New England. It's like, wow. Like, they've been on trying to get him to be owner player for a minute. And then the Sean Payton stuff breaks. So then, you start reading how basically Goodell, who's currently getting a lot of speculative craziness of what he's going to do with Watson, which is why I did not make the thumbnail yet, because 6 games is not official, everybody. Make sure that is fucking clear, all right? We don't know what the NFL is going to do
Yes.
yet, so hold off dearly. So for now, we're going to talk about this Brady thing because, Mike, what's funny is Ross is out for a year. They lose their first-round pick in 2023 and a third-round pick, I think, in 24. Brady gets nothing. And guess who's butt fucking the Dolphins again? Who over and over in that division did? Tom Brady, who they never even got. And now, Mike, what's really crazy when you think about it is this whole plan they've done, right? Tanking, all this stuff. And Flores was pissed that none of the tanking was a part of this. Mike, the whole thing hinged on if Tua is not great, we are protected in 23. And guess what now?
Not anymore.
I don't think it's an issue. But if Tua's not everything is advertised and they miss the playoffs, that's going to really not be good.
Yeah, I think they had multiple firsts, right? Because they had the San Francisco's from the Lance deal still.
They had the Niners, but Mike, think about it. Let's say Miami's not good and they're like a top 15-10 pick. And then Frisco is a 20s
team.
pick.
Yeah.
They're not in a position to go get a quarterback.
Oh, that's rough. That's rough for them. I guess you better make sure that Tua's good, right? Which I think he's good anyways. But
We're all
still.
whether they meant it or not, they've been saying we're all in on Tua, and guess what, Mike? They are all in on Tua.
I think you're going to have to write him out, right? I think that gives a little bit more long-term security to those people who are in on Tua. The only caveat, it's so hit or miss because, some people don't always with their first-round pick help out their quarterback. Sometimes it's a cornerback and they want to go more defense or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
It was nice knowing that if Tua played well, right, they had 2 first-rounders next year, and it's like maybe that's an offensive lineman, maybe that's another weapon, maybe
Correct.
a running back. Maybe they're the team that goes McDaniels. McDaniel's great with the running game. We got Tyreek, we got Waddle, Tua's our guy. We get Bijan Robinson, and then you're like, holy shit, this offense is getting me excited. But
You imagine the boner alert that Tua would be giving you with Bijan back there? They'd put another offensive piece in that mix. Holy shit.
very interesting, man, that they would risk it all, right, for a side piece. A side chick.
So Mike,
They got busted.
I'm going to give you one last piece and we'll get to the questions. Timing, curious, and interesting because of the Watson stuff on two different levels that could go two different ways. All right? I want you guys to think about this too, everyone tuning in or listening later. Watson's in the news right now. So, and a lot of this is basically the NFLPA's whole argument pretty much is that we got to be consistent. And everything that we've seen before says that the games for a year makes no sense based on everything we've seen in the past. And they're basically also saying that the owners and players are not held to the same standard, right? Those are the arguments. Mm-hmm. So this right here is so interesting because he's out for the year, Mike. They suspended him for the year. So it sets it up for we are holding the owners and the players to the same standard, and Watson, you missed the year because we're also doing it to Ross. Could be that way. Yeah. And also, the counterpoint is we're not going to – I've seen the two extremes, and these are pretty much both ones, where Goodell doesn't want to touch it. This is the first time in the CBA that we've seen it, and it's like this is just inserted the next day to try to look over here. Look over here, you know?
Look at the kitty. Look at the
kitty. Look at the kitty. So whichever way the NFL goes, I do think this was orchestrated to be timed right here.
I get it. All right, let's dive right into these questions. That's why the people came.
Let's do it.
All right, so Patty Mills says, trying to acquire Diggs as a contender, what would you add to Judy to tear up? He adds tear up king. Man, Judy's going to be an interesting one because with the Tim Patrick torn ACL, like I think his value is just going to keep going up till the actual season starts. And what would you add?
That's a good question because of that, man.
What would you add to
Mike,
Judy right now?
I mean, a second's easy for me.
Yeah,
Are you paying more than that?
I'm not adding it first. I'm good.
I'm not adding it first. So I guess the question though, Mike, is
I'd rather hold Judy and ride out and see where his value goes than add it first right now.
Patty, let me ask you format like. Is it a start 9, start 10 lineup? Is this a best ball? Like, what's the league settings? I think that would slightly. I'm probably not paying a first regardless.
Yeah.
But I might pay 2 seconds at the absolute most if I was like a ready to go contender. But I would have to know it's like a start 9, start 10, and I'd have to know I'm ready to go. And that'd be my max.
2 seconds in a start 9. Yeah, I think that'd be my. I'm good with that.
Yep.
Definitely good enough. He says start 9 lineup. So
okay, so there you go. So start 9 lineup,
seconds.
I would do 2 seconds. I'm not doing the first though, man. I'm just not doing that.
Or equivalent players in that range. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So you're looking at.
Would you pay Pollard and Judy?
Judy and Pollard? Yeah, to go get Diggs. I think I'd do that. As long as I wasn't desperate at running back. You know what I mean? Like, correct. I like Pollard. If he's my number 2 running back, I don't feel so good. If he's my number 3 running back, I don't feel so good. If he's my number 4, yeah. Like, I like him. Cool. I might be able to fill you in a few weeks in a lineup league, but you're more expendable, so I'm cool.
Patty, I would try either 2 seconds if he wants picks and if he wants a player. I wouldn't probably go much higher than like that 9th round.
Love it. All right. What's up, Adam and Mike? Doing my first Dynasty Best Ball. Finally taking the plunge. Well, welcome in, man. I'm glad you're doing it.
Love to hear that.
The startup is tomorrow. Superflex IDP, tiered PPR scoring. What's the top advice? Being that it's IDP, this is where Adam and I struggle because we don't play in anything but one IDP league. And our strategy in that one was
fade. The living fuck.
Fade the piss out of it. But the reason we faded it, and this will be my top advice, and this goes for best ball, this goes for any league with scoring settings that are against the norm that you're not comfortable with. Get in there. If it's in Sleeper especially, you can sort it by points per game for last year with your league scoring settings already a part of it. And what I like to do is go and identify where the tiers get flat and how flat they get. So when we did our IDP one, it is a best ball league too. There's people going for linebackers and defensive ends and stuff like that early. And I'm like, why? Because when I look at the scoring, it was like, yes, there's a couple elite ones that score high, but like everybody else for the next like 40 spots is within like 5 points per game. So if I get linebacker 40 or I get linebacker 6, I'm not missing out on a whole hell of a lot. So that'd be my top advice is go look at the scoring, figure out where the tiers are. Outside of that, though, if this was just offensive, I'm a big fan right now of trading up and getting 2 elite quarterbacks in a superflex league in best ball. Like I just did it an hour ago. I'm gonna keep doing it. So that's my big thing. As long as the price isn't too crazy, which it hasn't been for me, that's what I like to do. But first things first, for you, especially with IDP, I'd definitely go and look at the scoring and see how flat it is or what the scoring looks like as far as tiers would go for the IDP players.
Yeah, I think. I mean, from a not knowing the settings standpoint, Ryan, my top advice would be investing in the right assets and asset multiplication in the top like 12 rounds. Like if you can get 2-for-1s done, if you're getting more of the assets typically in those top 10, 12 rounds, in best ball, you want as many shots at the board as possible. So that would be my advice is if there's opportunity for you to exploit big names, high-end picks, and you're getting multiple assets in return in the rounds that matter or in futures, that's, I guess, my top advice for exploiting best ball right now.
Love it. Cody says he's doing Western Sun and a cigar for him right now.
Oh, let's go, Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Patty loves the Elijah. Just any Elijah. Elijah Craig, Elijah Moore. He loves the hype trains.
Yeah.
Good.
The only Elijah I'm out on is Mitchell, probably, at cost.
That's the only Elijah.
I'm all about the Elijahs.
All right, Mr. B says, speaking of Judy, I'm trying to get him. What's a fair price? Feel like I don't want to pay the price for him now with the Tim Patrick injury, and you would be 100% correct. I didn't really want to pay the Judy price when he got the bump with Russ. And I sure as fuck don't want to pay the Judy price now with the Tim Patrick injury on what it's going to do. So,
Mr. B, I think it's over, man. It's over, I think, for me to acquire Judy from a portfolio perspective. It's just not going to happen.
I'm just going to go somewhere else, right? For the same price as Judy, I'll go get an Ayuk and a plus.
Shit, man. Let me pull up, while you're doing this, I'll pull up the ADP right now because we know it's going to climb. Like, it's just going to climb.
Wade Thomas is in the building. What's up, Wade?
Wade, what's up, my guy?
All right, Mr. B also says, is Tua a buy in Dynasty? We touched on that a little bit.
Ben.
Yes. Yep. He's been a buy, but even more now if you were like, oh, what if they go a different direction at quarterback? I think we could kind of put that to bed, can't we? So
there is no out. It's Tua time. It's Tua time, baby.
It may still be sneaky to the uninitiated. Kyle's in the house. What's going on, Kyle?
Kyle, what's up, my guy?
Wade said he saw a crazy stat. Guess who's been involved in the last 3 forfeited picks in the NFL?
I got news for you.
Is it Tom Brady?
I think it's in the thumbnail. Strikes again. All
right, what you got the ADP for Judy?
All right, so Mike, dude, this is crazy. He's already too high in my estimation, bro. He's at the 603. I want you, Mike. This is before the climb is about to happen. Think about this for a second, though. This is who he's in front of. I want you to really think about this, Mike. Everybody, listen. Treylon Burks.
No.
Rashad Bateman.
No.
Garrett Wilson.
Fuck no.
I mean, as much as I'm not, I guess this is probably where I would maybe say yes. Chris Godwin.
Yeah, Judy, Godwin, close.
Slim Reaper.
No.
Elijah Moore.
Hell no.
Mike, he is almost 2 full rounds ahead of Elijah Moore.
And this is before he goes up.
So, also he is literally 603 where Sutton is 710. So all the way on the snake back is Cortland Sutton.
Like I'm fine if I can get him in like the late 7th, 8th round, somewhere around.
Mike, guess who's going an actual full 2 rounds behind him at the 803?
Darnell Mooney.
You know it.
My guy. I'd take Darnell.
I'll go buy Darnell Mooney. I'm not doing the Jerry Jeudy at the rising cost. No way.
All right, Judy and ETN or Diggs and Aaron Jones PPR lineup. Diggs and Aaron Jones for me.
Contender Aaron Jones and Diggs for sure.
Easily.
If I'm not contending, I would take the other side.
Okay. Yep. I'm with you. I just take the youth and we just shit talk Judy, but still, Apparently,
You-
there's people out
you
there
can-
that value him very
You're
high.
gonna have no problem moving him as he gets into that fifth, Mike. No problem.
Spygate, Deflategate, and this shit show. Yep. The last 3
You know
months.
what? Jay gets me.
Yeah, I didn't get to read the whole thing too, but like I saw something in there. It was like October, but maybe they meant October of next year. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but whatever.
I don't actually know how long he's suspended. I know he's away from the team for several months at minimum. So I didn't actually look at the length of it.
All right, Garrett Wilson or Jamison Williams? Garrett Wilson, not close for me. Adam,
We've been on this one. We've been on
any
this one.
Caveats like
No,
No.
not here. There's 3 guys in this class. I'm not taking JMO over. Period at receiver, and it's Garrett Wilson, Traylon Burks, and Drake London.
this is perfect. We talked about this a little bit on our Patreon show. We got pretty in depth about it, but we just give the cliff notes here. Where are you drafting Watson now in a startup league, Superflex league? Say the 6-game suspension holds up. We didn't know on Sunday when we did the show, but now we officially know. Say the 6 games actually holds up, Adam. Where are you taking him? Final answer.
6 games holds up, and it's official. They don't appeal. I don't think that's happening. If it does, I would say at that point, I'll take Burrow and Murray ahead. I would, at that point, only 6 games, I think I'd probably take him ahead of Dak.
Are you taking him ahead of Lamar?
We talked about this, man. When you said 4 games, I think I could. 6 games on a contender, I'm just going to take Lamar.
Okay. I'm with you.
4 games? If it's only 4 games, I could make the case to go ahead and just take Watson. That you can get by with whatever your quarterback 3 is on a contender for 4 weeks. Like if it's Tannehill or whoever it is, right?
Murray, Lamar, no question above him for me. At 6 games, Adam, like it's a contender or a long-term play. It kind of depends on where my team is, what my QB3 is. We talked about all this. Right now, you had to tell me only at 6 games. I think him and Dak are like tied.
Yeah.
Tied.
I'm going to lean Watson, but I'll get you.
I'm going to say this, and this may be spicy. I'd rather have Watson and Dak over Burrow right now with as much digging as I've done into Joe Burrow, especially for best ball purposes. Watson and Dak over Joe Burrow, even with the 6 games. Spicy.
I'll say this too, Mike. You know what I will say? I answered the question on the contender. Let me caveat this too.
Rebuild.
On a rebuild, the only person I could consider ahead of Watson in this list is Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
If I'm rebuilding and I have the time, just give me Watson over everybody but Kyler Murray. And I think he's very close.
All right. I think we did something similar last year, right? So the question is, what do we do with Tim Patrick now? IR till you need the spot, sell for anything. I would take anything. A 4th, a 5th, some fab. Adam, I was looking at it because I have 1 share on a contending team, right? In a best ball league.
Okay. Okay.
This isn't even lineup. So
Okay.
best ball league, deep rosters. I could probably roster Tim Patrick if I wanted to. But let's think about what the facts are. When he comes back, he'll be coming off an ACL the year
29.
before, and he'll be 29 years old. And you're going to have
And an
another
offense,
year. Yes.
An offense that has rust. That I got news for you guys. Tim Patrick is not going to be what changes Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's the people on the field are going to succeed. So he's not going to be someone that's like, oh my gosh, he's back with Russ. It's not happening.
So when we did this last year, it was with a Gus Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
And I was full aboard. Just cut him, free up the roster spot, and move on with your life. Now, maybe there's somebody dumb enough out there to give you, like I said, a 4th, a 5th, a fab, whatever. But if I can't get anything within the next week, I think I have 2 shares of Tim Patrick. They're hitting the old waiver wire at him. Like, I guess maybe if you have like 10 IR spots, I play in a couple leagues where like the IR has been full up, the IR has been huge for the last couple of years because of COVID and people going in and out and all that stuff. So if you're in one of those and you got plenty of room in the IR, go ahead. I mean, there's no reason to cut a guy if you don't need to, right? You don't have to. But if he's sitting there taking up an actual roster spot or taking up an IR spot and you had to cut somebody else because Tim Patrick's still on your team, that means Tim Patrick needs to get the fuck off your roster. So, in my opinion,
I would say this, man. If you're overexposed to Tim Patrick, like I don't think you did it correctly. I'll just be honest.
he was a fine shot for me in a best ball.
That's fine, Mike, but overexposed. I'm talking like if you had a significant exposure to Tim Patrick.
I guess I wouldn't give a shit at him in best ball leagues, like where I was taking Tim Patrick's in like the 14th, 15th round. Like if I
right,
had,
but Mike, there's other guys in there that
shares.
are like, there's other guys that are make sense there.
That's true.
My only point is this, Mike. If you have an overexposure and you have to get off of like 10 shares, I don't have the fix for you because that's not happening. But if you have him in 3 or 4 leagues, like I would grind for the next 5 days before he is dust.
Yeah.
Because right now he's really dust, and if you don't get something done soon, he's going to be such an afterthought, and you're going to have to cut him. So grind it, see what you can get, and then it's over.
Think about this.
Get a 4th or a 5th though, if you can. Honestly,
think about this last year when KJ Hamler tore his ACL. Okay, young guy, exciting, speed prospect, guy that we all like, 2nd round draft capital on the Denver fucking Broncos. And I remembered not being able to get anything. Like I'd try to toss him into like a rebuilder, like on a trade, just as like a sweetener, a juice, and nobody wanted a fucking thing to do with him.
I bought 1 share of you for dumb cheap.
Right?
That was it.
I don't even remember what the fuck it was for, but it was stupid cheap.
It was dumb cheap.
But like I struggled to get rid of KJ Hamler. What do you think it's going to be?
You know what?
Like
It wasn't that bad now that I think about it, Mike. You got back Devin Duvernay.
But what did he actually do for me?
Nothing, but like even still, he's worth more now than fucking. Well, KJ Hamler boomed up, but like.
Well, now that Tim Patrick tore his ACL, KJ Hamler to the moon, baby.
We'll see.
But I think
it's
going to be insufferable.
You like that? I know you like that.
Yes.
So here's the thing, though, Mike. Tim Patrick, the difference is exactly what you said. KJ Hamler, you had a tough time selling as a young speedster, like with upside when he comes back. Tim Patrick is going to be 29 and was I believe, undrafted guy. Or if he was drafted, it was very late. It's just not.
No thanks.
Sell now or just cut him. Like, I'm fully aboard cutting him if you can't get anything. So
Saints and Raiders lost to 6 last year for breaking COVID. Valid. So it kind of puts it in as far as draft pick forfeitures, but maybe first round.
Mike, there's only been one other team that's lost a first round draft pick due to collusion type things. I want you to guess who it was.
One other team to lose a draft pick due to collusion type things. The Jets?
It's in the thumbnail.
The Dolphins? No.
New England.
New England.
Spygate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Spygate.
Yeah, only ones that get hammered. Spygate.
Everybody else gets hit with like mid-round picks. They basically said like the level of tampering was so bad on so many levels. Like we're just fucking.
What did the Saints lose for Bountygate? That seems like so damn long ago. Actually, it probably was long ago. That was like Brett Favre on the fucking Vikings long ago. It's just forever ago.
Yeah, let's find
Bountygate.
out. Go ahead.
I'll go to the next
keep
one.
talking while I pull this up. Yeah.
I asked about trading Dalvin in a rebuild a couple weeks
Second
ago.
round pick and $500K.
Okay. So not even this hard. Damn. All right. Asked about trading Dalvin in a rebuild a couple weeks ago. Ended up making a deal. Brady, Dalvin, Thielen, 2 23 thirds for Garrett Wilson, Tolbert, 23 second, 24 first. Okay. So let's unpack all of this here. Got rid of Brady, Dalvin, Thielen. Old pieces. Nice. A couple thirds. You got Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson or Jesus. How about Garrett Wilson? Garrett Wilson in a second or Dalvin Cook?
Rebuild Garrett Wilson, contender Dalvin Cook.
Okay. 24 first or Tom Brady?
Here's the caveat, Mike. Start 10. I'll take the 24 first.
Okay. Tolbert or Thielen and a couple thirds. That's the best way I can like break the whole trade down.
I'd lean Tolbert in the second. I'll say this, Mike. Mr. B, I think you got a decent return. I like what you did. I think this was pretty fair, though, man. Like, I'll send a 24 first on a contender for Brady. I'll send Wilson in a second for Dalvin. Thielen in the thirds for Tolbert in the second. Like, I think this is a well constructed deal, Mr. B. What? Get into the Discord and submit these for the trade show. This would have been a nice one for the trade show, man. I like this deal.
It's very nicely constructed on both sides.
Very much so, yeah.
You know, we don't generally think of the thirds as being anything, but just kind of get them thrown in there, right? 23.
Well,
hell, if I'm a contender too, like it gives me a little bit more juice to go after somebody else.
A little lube to press later.
I love it.
Good deal, man. Especially when it's 2/3, like a couple of thirds, like that gives you a little more ammo too, right?
Mark says 7-10 is 2 rounds too high for Sutton. Guy stinks. You bite your fucking tongue.
Yeah. Mark, I want a letter. I want numbers. I want to know why. Why is he so bad? Why is he worth the 9-10?
How's he gonna do that to us on Cortland Sutton? Man, give me all the Cortland.
You see that? You see that? That emoji he's got on the logo like that. Is he just toying with us? Is this like
It's like a bad Santa. Are you fucking with me?
Are you fucking with me?
Zane, love all your shows. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Zane.
I appreciate that, Zane. We appreciate that, man.
Follows that up with a nice question here. 14-team Superflex, start 8. Jesus. Oh, you see start 8. Makes me cringe a little bit.
Mike, but that's not that bad, start 14 teams, though.
It's kind of gross.
I'm
in a 14-team start 9, and I'm like, ugh. Can we get some more?
This is all about the stats. Go ahead.
If competing, what caliber running back would you need to target if trading away a 23 first? Same question with Zach Wilson. Start 8, man. You're going to need some studs. 23 first.
Man. If I'm competing, I need something in the Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley type range, I think.
Oh, yep. I'd do that. I don't think I'd settle for Josh Jacobs or an Aaron Jones or
not start 8.
Mine.
No,
thank you. I'd just rather have the first. Zach Wilson. What would you need to target if you're trading away Zach Wilson?
What is this?
Team.
I just want to, Zane, if you could clear it up for us here. We want to get to the question, but are you trying to trade for or away Zach Wilson?
That's true.
I don't know which way he's trying to do it.
Man, I think if I was trading away Zach Wilson in a 14-team, it's about how much I can bend over my league mates because it's a 14-team super flex. Like that's the first answer is how much can I get away with?
It's down there, trading away.
Trading away Zach Wilson. Yeah, it's a matter of how much you can bend over your league mates. That's simple as that.
To me, in 14-team, part of the problem with it, like part of the reason I don't want to do too many of them is just because quarterback hoarding is it's a cheat code. So like if you have a plethora, I'm not moving for discounts. So like for me, if I have Zach Wilson and I'm trying to trade him away, especially if I'm not getting the quarterback back, Mike, you're not going to want to know my price, man.
It's not going to be nice.
It's Mike, I'm not doing it for a first and a second, I don't think, in a 14-team league.
No. Fuck no. I'm looking at anybody who's going in like the 4th round of startup ADP and going like, I'm going to need this or a little bit better. And if you don't like it, then yeah, fuck you.
Have fun starting Sam Darnold and company, you know?
Yeah, or Drew Lock. Good luck with that.
Geno Smith.
Love it. 12-team Superflex tight end premium, full PPR, start 10. A side, Noah Fant, Darnell Mooney. Side B, Cole Kmet, Chase Claypool. Oh, Jesus. Give
fucking
me
A. John Smith. A by a landslide mile to me.
Fant or Kmet? I think that's a conversation, but I still say Fant.
Fant.
I got to see him on the NFL Network today, too, when I got home, and it just made me smile. Like, Michael Robinson was interviewing him, and he just looks so, he's in Seattle. He actually looks happy in Seattle. It's weird. He's talking about how Shane Waldron's building the offense around him, and he's probably full of shit, but still. It's like, hey,
I don't know, man. Imagine a team that wants to rebuild and is willing to take Noah Fant and opt into the 5th-year option as, like, draft capital.
True. Mooney over Claypool quite a bit. Fant and Kmet, you could have a conversation, I suppose, but Mooney over Claypool by a lot.
I would say this. I think the win of Mooney
I like
versus
Claypool.
Claypool for me, you could inverse the tight ends. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
the difference
Swap
from Mooney to Claypool wins. Yeah.
Kevin, what's going on? Glad you can make another one.
Kevin.
Appreciate it.
What's up, Kevin?
12-team Superflex PPR. Start 9. Deontay in a 23 second or Saquon in a 23 third.
Saquon.
Yeah, as much as we love Deontay and we will, talk him up. Start 9, man. Give me the running back. The possible.
So
Safe
most start 9s,
spots.
Dynasty FF, typically the start 9 is going to look like, I've seen it both ways, but more often than not, it's a 2 running back, 2 receiver, 2 flex, super flex, tight end, quarterback. So if I have the opportunity to start 4 running backs in a start 9 league, like I want Saquon every time.
I like it. And he looks good. Apparently he's playing receiver now.
Mike,
Who knows?
this is it, man. Watch Saquon get crazy.
Oh, I'd be over the moon. And I'd be insufferable on Twitter. I tell you that much.
You already are, but let's give you more ammo.
Mr. V says he already has Zach Wilson, so getting Garrett Wilson would be nice. Right? To Wilson. In a 14 team, man, you could do a lot worse than if Zach Wilson's your QB2 or possible QB3. So,
Yep.
hopefully QB3, but QB2, I don't hate it either. Just as long as he's not your QB1. I like Zach Wilson, but let's not get fucking crazy here, boys.
Let's not get crazy.
That
man.
is my QB1. Good. Kevin's coming to our defense, man. How long you been playing Dynasty? Not a Sutton fan?
I mean, Mike, go to the next question. I'm going to pull up, like, late ninth, like, who we're talking. Dude, late ninth, Mike, real quick. So 9-10, which is 2 rounds later. Dawson Knox,
No.
Kareem Hunt,
No. I love running backs, but fuck no.
DeAndre Hopkins,
No.
Jahan Dotson,
Maybe, but it's just because of how much I love John Dotson, but probably not. Let's be honest.
Rashad White,
No. Come on.
Ramondre.
No.
Thank you. It's just,
No.
it's too much slander. Just please put that to bed. I like what you're doing. I like the controversy, the adversity you're trying to throw at us, but we're not doing this. Cortland Sutton, stop doing
AV
this to me.
says help. I think I'm drinking the Antoine Pierce Kool-Aid.
Let's
yeah,
go.
You should. Welcome aboard,
Bro, you see him.
motherfucker. Let's go.
Everybody worried about this, like, he's too thin. Bro, how he shook
rocked
the
up.
fuck out of that dude. Bro, you don't even need to book. You see how he didn't even, no hands, no nothing, just
Nah.
shook that guy on the line.
Got him.
Oh my gosh.
You know what was playing in my head over and over was Ray G's tweet from like the day before.
Yes.
where with the Drake London.
Drake
Can't
London, yeah.
separate, LOL.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought about putting it, but I leave it up to the legend to do his thing, and I just put Antoine
Listen.
as Antoine Nice.
Listen, maybe that corner was fucking dog shit. I don't know who the corner was, but he burnt that guy.
I don't give a
Holy
fuck
shit.
who the quarter was. Right? I got to talk up Antoine Pierce. Don't give a shit.
Oh, Antoine.
Could have been a guy from the USFL for all I care. Shook him. Jag's in the house. What's going on, Jag?
Jag.
Put a
Jag,
I'm
I'm gonna get to your text,
Or
man.
wave.
We've
That's
been
a
doing
wave, my
shows
bad.
3 in a row, so I'm gonna get to your text. Don't worry.
Life advice, right? Life advice. All right. Jokes aside, I'm just not touching him. Never been a top 24 points per game. He turned 27 this season. Don't think he gets there with Russ. Would much rather draft Ayuk, Gabe Davis, even Tony or Claypool. Ayuk, I can. You and I rank Ayuk ahead of.
I'm on board with Ayuk. I could see, but the thing is, you don't need to do it for Tony. Like, you can get Tony or Claypool for a less. I get what you're doing if you're rebuilding or something. Gabe Davis, no way, not happening for me. You might be right, Mark. Like, maybe Gabe Davis is great this year. I'm not personally doing that. So, Mike, I'm bullish on Cortland Sutton. Maybe, man. Maybe I just am. I don't know. Maybe I'm bullish.
That's fair. The thing about never been a top this, never been a top, any position, any player. Of course they've never been until they actually do it, right? And then we stop having a conversation about it, right?
I mean, listen, I guess it depends what you think of Russ because, Mike, like, who's throwing the ball to Cortland Sutton? Honest to God. Drew Lock? Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater.
Did he have like
Who?
a year of like Brock Osweiler? The second time? Brandon
Let's move
Allen
on.
there for a while?
I haven't drank enough to want to throw up, man.
I get the Ayuk one. Gabe Davis,
Ayuk for sure.
no thanks.
I get Ayuk.
Tony Claypool, like I'm higher on him, but that's what I've said. He says he's also out of Pittman at cost. Same reason QB upgrade is overblown. Wide receiver 27 in points per game last season. Younger than Sutton, though, so not as egregious. It's also a second year, man. Like, how... Wide receiver positions.
He's going into year 3. A lot of receivers take a third year to break out. Like it used to be, Mike, before some of these guys came out the box, that like year 3 was the breakout. You know,
that's the year you wanted to get him. I can agree with the at cost though, because his cost just keeps going up and up.
Fully agree with the at cost. I understand it, Mike. Let me say this too. 2019, when he made the Pro Bowl, Cortland Sutton was showing a lot of promise at a young age. Missed the next season with injury. Last year coming off the injury, ACL, and fucking dog shit quarterback play.
Yeah.
Like, what if he's back to health and he has Russ? Like, I think in the back end of the 7th, early 8th, there's a very strong case to be made for Sutton still. But I understand if you're not in. I get it.
Man, Pittman's up to wide receiver 13.
Pittman's getting. I mean, I think Ray single-handedly changed Sleeper's ADP with that Pittman video.
He's driving that motherfucker
Mike,
right to the 3rd round.
Mike, I don't even know if we need to do our Pittman video anymore.
Nah, like Ray took it and just fucking. Like anything you guys were going to say, I did it 10 times better. So
Mike,
fuck
if
off.
the thumbnail wasn't so dope, I don't know if I would just say, we ain't doing it. But the thumbnail's so dope, we might just have to do it anyway.
Well, maybe we just do 10 minutes and then, like, we don't say anything. It's just a repeat. Like, we spell out Ray's fucking YouTube link to his TDN video for fucking Pittman.
Total propaganda for 10 minutes.
Just that's all we do. It's just like, you go check this dude out. We're not going to do anything that's better than that.
I got to pour up more Elijah.
Also made a deal in the same league of Kyle Rudolph and Brian Edwards for a second. Jesus Christ, great job. Sell it Heisman second pick.
Mike, do you remember when in the shit OG league last year, you thought I was criminal for getting a second for Brian Edwards when there was like a minimal reason for hype still? Mr. B, listen, man. I'm not one to call the police. Like, I'm just not that guy. But this, holy fuck, that is, who did this? Like, who? I don't get it, Mike. Who would do that? Kyle Rudolph?
Cody says he sent out trades of Patrick for Bellinger, Rudolph, Zay Jones, Pacheco. Fuck it. Just give me any of them. I don't even like
the guy
the
has a
hype.
pulse. If the guy has a pulse, like, I'll take it.
I'll try something else, right?
Yeah, try whatever you can, but like literally, I would cut him if I had to. So anything.
Kevin says Gabe Davis' cost is way too high right now, and I applaud you for being that brave.
You know what's crazy?
I say it, people want to kill me.
You know what's crazy too? Is that like there's actually a lot of hype because they haven't brought in enough supposedly.
Yeah.
That he's drafted too low.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm telling you.
You know he's going before Sky Moore right now. Amari Cooper. Juju. Allen Robinson. Ayuk. Brandon Cooks.
Mike, everybody listening, I was at camp yesterday. I was at the Browns camp yesterday. Mike, let me tell you this, man. If this is a big if.
Ooh,
if
insider.
6 games stands, I'm just going to tell you this. If 6 games stands and you took Gabe Davis ahead of Amari Cooper, you are going to hate your dynasty career.
But Adam, Amari Cooper can't play on grass.
Mike, let me tell you this. This offense, I watched Njoku drop another 3 balls. They have no wide receiver 2 at all. Every time that Watson could throw it to Cooper, it went to Cooper. I promise you that fucking Cooper, if he stays healthy, is going to smash with Deshaun Watson for 12 games. You're going to hate it.
Mr. B, he's pointing out
Kendall
Hilton throwing them fucking footballs, right? Remember that game?
How could you forget? They like punished them because of COVID.
Cortland Sutton has never really had anyone throwing the football to him throughout his whole career, and then he got hurt.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah. Fucking put AJ Green in that deal too. Mr. B says for that second. Who gives a shit? Like, how many turds are you gonna stack up for a second? I love it.
You're right, Mr. B. That fixes it. I do need to call the police. Like it's official now.
Man, I understand. I think you're fighting a losing battle though, man. When you're getting the air yards, but you have a shitty quarterback throwing you the football, of course you're not going to be efficient, right?
Well,
we
like,
all know bad receivers who are highly efficient. Doesn't mean they're actually good.
Hold on. Russell Gage and Alan Lazard are definitely not good arguments here.
No.
I'm not going to hate you if you don't. I'm not going to say you're crazy for the Sutton thing. I just think, though, like with 14 games started in his second year to earn 124 targets with over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns with shit quarterback play. And he didn't finish the season that year, Mike, with he tore the ACL late. So, like, I don't know. Listen, Mark, to each their own. Like, if you're opposed to Sutton, I understand where you're coming from. To me, though, I'm very in on Sutton. So, and I could be wrong.
I wanted to see, too, in 2019 when he did it, who were the quarterbacks?
Drew Lock was a rookie, and they went to him.
All right.
And
Joe Flacco started 8 games. Went 2-6.
Mike, remember how washed Joe Flacco was by then?
6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Drew Lock started 5 games. Went 4-1. 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
That was when Colin Cowherd said Drew Lock is the future, and all these people were so Drew Lock hyped, yeah.
And Brandon Allen. I knew there was a Brandon Allen sighting in there. Started 3 games. Who? Brandon Allen.
He had 1,100 yards with that quarterback room, Mike.
With that QB room. Yeah, pretty fucking gross. Pretty gross.
Hey, Mark, I want to know. I need to know this last piece. Who do you think in your mind would be efficient for 1,100 yards with that quarterback room? Go.
DeAndre Hopkins. Because I've seen him do it with the same kind of dog shit.
How about
That's all I
got. How about a very Jerry Rice? Give me all the absolute goons.
Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
All right, thoughts on David Bell? Perfect, man. You got to see him yesterday. Has a 206 and a 16 team. Oh yeah. Okay. Has a 206 and a 16 team dynasty league debating between Bell, Wandale, and Davis Price.
Wandale.
Bell.
I'll tell you right now, man, Bell's getting scary with this foot injury.
No shit? You panicking a little? It's still David Bell for me, but
I'll give you Bell still. I'm just saying this, though. Based on hype and trading, you might be able to sell Wandale right now. There's a lot of rumors that he's killing camp. And I don't believe Wandale's going to smash. But, it might be a play of just trading him. For the long term, I want Bell, easily.
Yeah, a little bit of an argument there for Judy Cody. A little bit with the bad quarterback play, but the difference is we've actually seen one good year out of Sutton. We haven't seen anything out of Judy.
Judy still, what's crazy about Judy going so early, Mike, is in year 3, he's a projection.
Still. We still don't
know. If Mark, I want to know where you're at on Judy, too, real quick, while we're at this.
I mean, I guess his rookie year, 100
because we haven't seen
targets, 856 yards, but without Cortland Sutton. So, who knows? He's still a projection, though. We haven't had a breakout. Year 3.
Mike, we've had far from a breakout.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway.
Russ is one of the best deep ball throwers, right? You can see the correlation between Sutton and DK Metcalf. Not saying he's going to be DK Metcalf, but he does some of the same things.
He's the contested catch, big body receiver. He's not the speed demon of DK, but he is the alpha type in offense. Yeah.
All right. What are your thoughts on Lance? Do you believe in him? If Adam didn't have a Kyle Pitts thing up there, I'm pretty sure it'd be a Trey Lance thing, right? In the background, right up to the side.
Well, you got to expose me like that. You know I'm big on Lance, and it's true. Do I believe in him? Yes. God, yes. What's that gif? Yes! At cost? Probably still yes. But, man, his cost is crazy high. I mean, his cost is Mike, we talked about this. We had an argument, and I want to know in your mind if everything breaks right this year. They paid Debo. Like if everything breaks right, like everything breaks right for Trey Lance. He has a great season. What is his ceiling in startup picks? Like where does he go?
105,
Okay,
106.
you're right. He's not going past Herbert, Mahomes, or Allen, personally, in my opinion. I think the argument starts right after that. Probably not ahead of Watson or Murray, even really.
Or Lamar.
I think he can. I think he can get higher than Lamar still.
Okay.
Only because he still offers rushing too.
So more like 107, 108.
I think somewhere between 105 and 107, depending on how crazy it gets, right?
But
So,
he's gotta come out and like.
We're admitting this is him hitting all cylinders. Like this is the Trey Lance best case scenario. So the reason I bring that up, because you're asking the cost thing, Mike, is he's currently the 202. So when you ask me at cost, like 202 I'm still in, but you have to understand at 202, like your best case scenario value jump, I don't even know if that's a full first, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a full first is what you can gain in value with Trey Lance. Right?
All right. Not trying to convince anyone otherwise. Don't mean to drag that on. Just not for me.
I get it, Mark. That's fine. No problem.
Cody hit it. Brandon Cooks would put up 1,000 yards in that QB. Brandon Cooks just puts up 1,000 fucking yards with anybody. So.
Cody, you know what? Cheers to you. That's a good find. You're 100% correct.
DJ Moore?
DJ Moore.
DJ
Okay.
Moore.
We like all these guys.
All right. Rank these wide receivers 1, 2, 3, 4. A.J. Brown, Waddle, Mooney, Ayuk. A.J. Brown.
I think they're in order.
A.J. Brown.
I think they're in order.
I'd put Ayuk over Mooney, as much as I love Mooney.
Actually, you know what, Mike? I think you're probably right. I think I probably have him ranked that way too.
Yeah. Closer, but
Ayuk ahead of Mooney, but all right, you're right. A.J. Brown, my ranks also say this. A.J. Brown, Waddle, Ayuk, Mooney.
the Waddle Mooney one's always a good one because that should have been like a name brand off brand right there. Why pay for Waddle when you just get Mooney? My opinion.
We kind of did a similar one, but the older version. You're right though.
Wandale could kill camp and still not be relevant in fantasy because of his role. Well, and Daniel Jones. Fucking Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has not had a good week.
Mr. B, I'm not saying you're wrong, but like let's stop acting like David Bell is like I love David Bell, the prospect, the way he did in college, but his combine was horrible. And if he's not practicing with the Browns and he doesn't have a role, like it's not crazy to say that like he could have the highest trade value of those three guys. That's all I'm saying.
DK exploded in games with Geno last year, but I see your point. Only so much McLaurin and DJ McLaurin. Fuck, there's another one. Shitty quarterbacks. DJ Moore could do with shit quarterbacks, but year one isn't enough. 1 year isn't enough for me to trust Sutton.
Understood.
I don't think for me it's like Sutton over like some of the other guys you listed. Like I'll take Sutton. Like I trust him more than I trust Gabe Davis, who we've never seen it from.
Yes.
Darius Toney, who is still a project. Chase Claypool, all on touchdowns. Like I like him, but not as much as Cortland Sutton. Like I haven't seen it to the level. And then it's just kind of whatever. Like I mean, in that range, I think he's fine where he's going. I'm not advocating for taking him in the 6th fucking round, but the end of the 7th, I'm interested. He's in that tier and probably the best of the tier. Compared to Judy, who's more of an upside like projection, 100%. Like I'd rather just have Cortland Sutton. I feel much safer with it. And I don't know if Judy ever hits his upside.
Theoretical upside, yeah.
That's what I was waiting for you to ask about Judy. I'm at 19% exposure in my leagues. Don't think he's a choose, just much higher upside. See, and that's what I mean. Like,
all right, but here's what I need to know. Mark. I don't want to belabor the point, but we're doing AMA, and you're engaging, and we appreciate your engagement, whether we think you're right or wrong. So please, Mark, don't believe we're trying to shit on you. I just want to know. Like, I need to know the people's answers. For me, what I have trouble with is if you haven't seen much in 2 years from Judy with similar quarterback play, like what is it that gives you 1 out of 5 leagues you have Judy, whereas you're out on Sutton. Like I need to know what the difference and disparity is there personally for myself. So and I'm not saying you don't have an answer. I just want to know what it is.
And he agrees for an X receiver is tough with a bad quarterback. It is. It's a lot easier for
100% true.
slot receivers, shitty slot receivers to play with bad
Well,
quarterbacks.
the shitty quarterbacks want to put the ball in their safety zones a lot of
Right.
times. You know.
Right. All right. Appreciate you guys getting my question. Adam, I picked up the same bottle this past weekend. Boom.
Let's get it, Ryan. Cheers, buddy. Cheers, man.
Castle Black, winner of our Discord contest. Congrats to him again. Congrats to him.
And congrats on the jersey choice. I'm
I love
literally tonight getting ready to do a recording of the player, single short
Smith.
on the player, Devontae Slim Reaper.
I know Javonte is a top 5 dynasty running back anywhere you look, but where do you think he finishes in 22 if Gordon is healthy? This is
Good question.
it's not going to be worse than last year.
Hell, no.
And I think there's a realistic situation where Gordon takes a more of a back seat, and that's kind of my feelings on Javonte. Gordon went out, tested the market, nobody jumped at it, and then they brought him back for a fairly cheap fucking deal. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, and I think it's actually pretty likely that maybe the split is more 60-40 instead of 50-50. And 60-40 in favor of the young guy. More Javonte. And in a Russell Wilson-led offense versus a Drew Lock-led offense, Teddy Bridgewater-led offense, that's where I think Javonte's projection comes in. But I agree. If you think top 5 with Melvin Gordon is still a little too high, that's fine. You know, knock him down a spot or two. It's where I have the issue where people are jumping like Joe Mixon over him. Like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm good, man. Or Dalvin Cook, right? You start getting in that next tier of guys who may die after this year or die this year as far as value is concerned. So
I think the thing that you got to remember here with this one, a few things personally for me is we saw when Gordon went down, like, that Javonte not only is capable of the full workload, but that he is really the more explosive back. And I think when Gordon was healthy, what we all saw was that, like, Denver kept leaning into this, like, it's the same guy. And in fairness, like, when he was healthy, like, it might have looked like that at the time. But I think what we started to see as the year progressed is Javonte is just more explosive. He is the better back. And Denver brought back Gordon, but almost reluctantly because nobody else wanted him, right? Like, it was not some crazy cost. So, and if there's any panic on, like, Javonte because Gordon's back, like, please don't buy into that. Like, Javonte on a lot of very limited snaps last year, and just raw numbers, was running back 18. I think if he even gets to a 60-40 split, Mike, which is, I think, being conservative, there's not much reason for me to put him, even at a 60-40 split, Mike, in the top 10 pretty easily in finishes this year.
I think for us, like, the cutoff is pretty clear, but maybe for other people, like Javonte or Breece Hall. I still want Javonte. Me personally.
I personally want Javonte. I know there's probably people that would say the Breece Hall.
Breece.
You know?
I understand it at least. Like, but that's it.
I think
know
the
what I mean?
case for me in the dynasty drafting is that's the cutoff. Like, if you're gonna go Najee, Swift, Taylor, who am I missing there? And Breece ahead of him, like, that's it. That's it.
Patty traded Tim Patrick Stevenson, a 23 fourth.
No.
Carter Mooney and a 23 third about 2 hours before the
Oh,
ACL
before the
tear.
ACL tear? Holy hell. Timing well done and well executed.
Timing
Wow.
is everything. Garrett Wilson, Treylon Burks, or J-Mo? Garrett Wilson, Treylon Burks, whoever you like, then J-Mo.
I have the order that you have. I have Wilson ahead of Burks slightly, and then J-Mo.
And that second part really doesn't bother me if I have Elijah Moore and Amon Ra. Like, that doesn't
Don't
factor
care.
in.
Don't
it
care.
doesn't factor in anything and how I do it. Like, I don't mind having 2 receivers off the same team. I would like to move them if I could, but it's not a pressing issue for me. Perfectly fine. Even like Chase and Higgins, Waddle and Tyreek. Like, if I got both of them, I don't give a shit. All right. This whole Watson deal is messing up my real plans. I was thinking I was a year out, but now this has me wanting to make a bit of a push. What are you doing with your Watson teams?
Chill, Mr. Rhett Cortez.
Until you
Because
officially know. Yeah.
I'm telling you, by Thursday we will know. Rhett, and I would be personally surprised if they don't appeal at some extent. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I don't have a crystal ball. I have no clue. But there's a lot of media backlash right now, Mike. And ultimately, Roger Goodell still actually, whether you believe it or not, has ultimate say. And if he comes back and appeals and says whatever the length is, they have not lost in court. They have not lost in court. So before you do this, I would urge you to wait until we know. Because come Thursday, if they appeal and say a full season, you're going to have a lot longer before you know how long he's out. I'm just telling you. This thing is far from over, in my opinion.
Last thing I'm touching on this fucking Sutton Judy thing. God damn, this turned into a Sutton Judy show.
Listen, man, I can go back and remake the thumbnail. We can do the Sutton versus Judy name brand off brand if you want, you know?
Let's do that one next. Yeah, he says 113 targets as a rookie is more impressive than Sutton's year 2 for me. Let's caveat it. Sutton was out for the entire year with an ACL, though. So what was his target competition? I mean, nothing. And he dominated him in targets in games they've played. That is a valid point, though. That is one thing that
the
is
latter
concerning.
I would give you. I would give you the latter.
One thing
Agreed.
that is concerning. Yes, it is. It's just I'm not gonna say dominated.
Can I give you why?
Yeah.
Let me give you, Mark. I think that is a very valid concern, and I'll tell you why. I think it's a valid concern for you, and why I'm not actually too worried. Is I watched for a guy in Cleveland that's all the way across the country, almost every Denver game. Big Noah Fant exposure, big Javonte exposure. I mean, I was watching those games. At 4 o'clock, there's only like 6 games on. I watched almost all the Denver games, whether they're horrible or it was a good game or not. Teddy Bridgewater does not fucking move the ball down the field, and that's who played most of last season. And I'm telling you, it just seemed like he did not want to target Sutton. Maybe you're correct, and maybe Sutton wasn't separating. Maybe there wasn't a reason for Teddy to put the ball to Sutton. But Sutton being the X and Teddy looking to put the ball just dink and dunk, I don't think it was a Sutton thing, personally. But I'll give you valid the second thing there.
I think we had some of the same concerns the year before with Teddy in Carolina, right? Remember, Robbie Anderson had that explosive fucking year with Teddy there. And
Yes.
he was the one who was playing like the slot role, and they were using DJ Moore a shit ton down the field, like as the field stretcher, where we assumed the roles would be reversed, right? Get the ball in DJ Moore's hands,
And
let him
remember-
do the shit after the yak, and we're like, what the fuck is going on here? Robbie
And
Anderson's
remember
supposed
when
to be the field stretcher.
Robbie Anderson was getting more targets because he was in the slot
Yeah.
there for a little while. Remember that?
It
That was crazy.
pissing me the fuck off being
Yeah.
a DJ Moore guy. So, Rico, yeah, man, Scott.
Mark, I know
Open
you
my
said you're
mind.
feeling like a hater right now. It's cool. Like, we need people giving the opposite end. It makes the
Yeah.
MMA more fun. So don't worry about it.
Thank you all for dropping that nugget on the Scott Connor tight end conversation. It cleared the clouds for me. Scott, when he posted that on Twitter, man, opened the shit up to me, right? RAS score means a lot.
Big.
If they don't have a good RAS score, but they break out, you can still buy in later. So I know Adam and I kind of went back and forth on a podcast about that with Brevin Jordan, because this is a guy that we both kind of liked. But hey, Scott hit me with the cold hard truth. Just fucking sell him. Sell him, and I'll work my way back. All right. Also, would you trade a 107 for a late 23 first if Treylon or Garrett is there? No.
So, Jerry, let me answer the question this way. If Treylon or Garrett is there, no. 107, I think if Treylon and Garrett are both gone. So if those guys are gone along with London, and then it's Pickett, Walker, and Brees gone, that is the pivot point for me if it goes specifically in that order. But if any of those 6 are there, Kenny Pickett, Kenny Walker, Brees Hall, Treylon Burks, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, like those 6, I want those 6 ahead of the 23 first. Unless I know for sure it's early.
All right, so Rhett's team with it, he's got Watson on. This is the full team. 12 team Superflex start 9. Kyler, Watson, Mitch, and Baker. All right, so his QB3 is serviceable, right, between those
Mm-hmm.
two turds. Running backs, Brees, Etienne. I definitely would want a third, possibly a fourth running back backup. But wide receivers, T, Sutton, A-Rob, Garrett Wilson, Sky, Claypool, Lazard, tight ends, Pitts, Albert, O, 7 future firsts, 3 seconds. Man, with that, Adam, like, you got a nice foundation and you got all those firsts. I might be pushing in a little bit more for another running back, a stud, and like upgrading my wide receivers, package of picks, whatever. And you might be able to make a nice push this year. But if you do it smartly, you can have the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? You still have a youthful team. You'll still have some picks left over. And you can make a run this year without going super balls deep.
Yeah, I think I really like this team. Brees and Etienne, like I would like to know what the running back backups are because that's two guys I'm cool with on a contender. But then, like, what is it after that? Running back for me, I need to have depth. Wide receivers is great. Tight ends is great. Once again, when I go to quarterback, though, Mike, like as I talked about with Watson, like if it's 6 games with Watson and you get Mitch and Baker to get you by, I'm cool. If it becomes different than that, though, I have an issue.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the hell Mitch is going to be long term. Like, I know Mitch is probably going to be the guy out of the gate, and everyone's panicking on Pickett. Everyone's talking shit about now we get the whole 22 class coming at us, Mike. It's not that we missed on all the other guys. It's that Pickett now sucks. Well, I'm not panicking on him yet, but like I don't know what Mitch and Baker project long term for Carolina. I'm cool if Watson misses 6 or 8 games, but not much more.
All right, we'll bang these out real quick here so we can bounce out of here on a reasonable time. But how do you pick a direction when you can only reasonably get to the third best in the league or sell to the third worst team? Do I just wait and see what happens even though I'm solidly only 6th and 7th? Absolutely
Good
not.
question.
I'm out. Like, if that's the best I can do, like, I look at it and I go, I will never reach the level of teams 1 and 2, even if I push everything in right now and I need a lot of luck, I just sell.
So, can I know we've got to get out of here. We've got a few questions left, but I think this is a good question. And I want to make sure I get to this because the race to reverse is not as clear sometimes as the race to win because you don't know what the team that supposedly has the right assets is going to do. Mm-hmm. Maybe they fucking fuck up a pick, man. How many times have we seen a top 3, 4 pick, 5 pick, N'Keal Harry style? Like, you fuck it up. They take a pick. You can still multiply so much in reverse that it's not a foregone conclusion that you can't be better on the rebuild and eventually be a better contender than that person. Like, the correct move is to rebuild. You just need to rebuild, not worry about the other teams, and eventually when you're ready, push forward.
For sure. Don't be afraid of rebuilding. That's the thing. But it all comes from your first part here. Like, being objective about your team and seeing that, man, like, if I do everything right and I push in, I'm only going to get to, like, third best. Like, if I'm being honest about my team and not rose-colored glasses, for me, that's a clear signal to be like, nah, I'm good. If I'm looking at it objectively, that's the best I can do, nah, I'm good. I'll just tear this down, and I'll go find, like you said, the third worst team, sell it off to him because, hell, what if something breaks wrong for him? What if his quarterback tears a knee up or something? And it's like, oh, he thought he was going to be a contender, and now I'm rocking the 101 and the 102. Congratulations to me.
Yeah, do not assume that rebuilders that look better than you today are going to stay better than you forever.
For sure. All right. If I fully expect to have the 101, maybe 103 at worst, what would you give up to get my own second back? Is that a worthwhile idea? Yeah, I definitely want to get my second back. Have my first, 2 other firsts, and 2 other seconds. I mean, I don't think you got to sell the farm to do it, but there's got to be a piece out there that you can clearly go like, man, my early.
So, Mr. B, I think
it's twofold, right? It's twofold because you sell off a piece that could help you win a game or score you some points, max points, whatever, to get that second back, right? Making your picks even better. So
I think this one is a good question because it's a lot harder to get the 101 back or the 103 back than the 201, 203. Mm-hmm. So I think the correct question that you need to ask is whoever has that second, what is their direction and what do they want? So if they're rebuilding, try to package some seconds later once or whatever. Go get it back that way. Or if they're contending, perfect because you can get rid of probably a player that makes sense for a second.
Yeah, it might be a good spot to sell like a fringe third type like quarterback if you've got one laying around.
Perfect. A Baker type?
Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones, Goff, Tannehill,
Perfect.
maybe.
Perfect. Yes.
Like I like Tannehill, but I'd be cool getting off him for like what I thought was going to be an early 23 second.
And also because you also know that you can dictate by future moves and make it an early second.
Correct. Rhett says he's definitely going to wait till it's all set in stone. Good point. Yeah, Rico, I don't know. I've heard that they're going to appeal. I heard they're not going to appeal. You know, I'm pretty much just of the mindset that it's going to be it's one of two things. Either they're really going to go hard after him, or two, this is all just a smokescreen, like PR-wise, where it's like, well, we're thinking about it, and we're going to wait as long as possible, and hopefully people forget.
Mm-hmm. Look over here, the Dolphins.
Yeah. Like Adam said, yeah. Look at the kitty. Look at the kitty. Rojo, man, thank you for tapping in. Appreciate you.
Hey,
John.
hey, Rojo, all love, brother. Even though the Chase deal we disagreed on, man. Love you.
Hey, he's got plenty of friends in the YouTube comments.
Hey, they can't, dude. You got the fish to have a school, man. The school came after us, you know.
Rojo Fish got the fish in the school. Yeah, they came after hard on the YouTube comments. But I love it. I love the engagement, even if we disagree.
100%.
Nothing but love. It's good.
100%.
Zane, thank you for tapping in, and Mr. B, appreciate it. Thank you, everybody who tuned in live, all the questions. This is why I love doing Tuesday night, because we do get some pushback, right? We get the Cortland Sutton hater.
Mike, listen, Mark. First and foremost, you're not the hater, all right? Like
no,
Mike.
I've seen worse.
I like to have the argument because sometimes I think. Let's keep it real quick before we get out of here. You and I think so similar so often. Yes. Rarely we have fights, but when we do, because we differ, we get bullish on it, you know?
Yes.
But rarely do we see differently. So I want to know, like, Mark, you presented a good argument on the Judy over Sutton targets. Like, sometimes I actually want someone to bring things to the table to just make me think and make sure, like, I'm very bullish on Sutton. None of this has made me change. But I want to make sure, like, you know, I want to see the other side of the coin real quick. Like, I want to know.
Yeah, I want to know if I'm on the right track or I'm on the wrong track. Like, if I can't provide a good counter argument to it, I can't provide good reasoning behind it, then maybe I go, huh. It's similar to what Rico was talking about with the Scott Connor and the tight ends thing. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I love Brevin Jordan. He's going to explode this year. And then he's given all the reasons why it's not. And I'm like, you know, this son of a bitch might be right.
This fucker got me. All right, Scott. And then next thing you know, I hadn't listened to it, you know, about 2 hours before Mike did. And I get like 3 offers. Here's Brevin Jordan. Here's Brevin Jordan. Here's Brevin Jordan. What the hell does Mike know? Oh, shit. Look at this Scott Connor podcast.
Son of a bitch. This is the downside of being tapped in with really smart people is like you got a small window where you can make these moves before everybody knows.
The margin for error is tight. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, guys. All right. We love y'all, man.
Thank you for tapping in. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week. We're going to do something a little bit different for the live stream next week. It won't be on Tuesday. We have the expo. We're doing something special with Maddie Kiwoom on that night. What we'll probably do, we'll move it to Monday, but we're also going to do some live stream stuff, me and Adam together in the same fucking building, same place, same screen.
Y'all better be ready, man. Listen,
Woo!
Monday we're going to do the AMA. I'll say this. Mike gets here. What do you get here? Wednesday?
Wednesday night. So Thursday will be the first day we'll actually be able to do something together.
So he'll be here Wednesday. So let's call it Thursday, and he leaves Tuesday later. So just be tapped in to the channel if you're subscribed. Thursday to Tuesday. It could be any time. Here, before we go, during the Airbnb, like just
oh man.
Be ready to check the old YouTube out. Live things will be coming.
You, me, together, Airbnb with the shitheads and Matty Kiwoom and Jones and all the other people that are showing up to it. It'll be interesting if we pull it up and we go live on YouTube, Thursday, Friday night. We got the Expo kickoff party Friday night too, the big one on Saturday. So plenty of time to do a lot of fun shit next week. So I'm really excited.
Yes, sir.
So stay tapped in, but that's going to do it for us. We're out of here. Peace.